Today we have an awesome podcast. It was a lot of fun. We are covering some cool stuff. So the gym that you all know, Princeton Health and Fitness here in town, is now called Momentum Fitness because it has been purchased by a new owner who actually used to work there and manage the gym. Joseph Head himself has now purchased and is the owner of what we used to know as Princeton Health and Fitness, and now Momentum Fitness Center. We're super excited to have him on. And we covered a lot of great stuff in this podcast. Some funny stories, some myths. Did some myth busting. We asked some personal questions and just honestly had a lot of fun and covered a lot of topics too. And they're going to be doing some new remodeling. We talked about visions and goals for the new gym. So without further ado, you guys, let's jump into it. Thank you for watching. Welcome to the Princeton Podcast, your go-to source for everything happening in and around Princeton. Join your hosts, Zach, Mary, and Kim, three locals who live and work right here in Princeton, as we bring you the latest events, exclusive interviews with local businesses, and stories that make our town special. Your community, your stories, your podcast. Before we get started in today's podcast, our sponsor for the show is Mike's Discounts Foods. Thank you. Now let's get into it. Well, it's been, probably over a year since we've had you on, and we've had, honestly, your podcast, our session with you was one of our best podcasts that we've ever done. It was our best performance.
Well, that's awesome.
People love listening to you. I don't know if it's your good looks, your great voice, or...
I love listening to someone with good looks, yeah.
Some people say like they have a face for radio, but I think you have both, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Welcome, Joseph.
Pleasure.
From technically you're from now. Where should we call you? Or
the owner.
The owner of.
Yeah.
Yep. Since we've had Joseph on last, he has purchased Princeton Health and Fitness.
Yeah, it was Princeton Health and Fitness. And then it went to the Gilsons, and it changed name to Beyond Sport. And now it's changed name again because the Beyond Sport name followed the Taekwondo school for a little while after. So now it's Momentum Fitness Center.
And that's your decision, correct?
Correct.
Momentum Fitness Center. That's the first I've heard that. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Congratulations, first off. That's
Thank
amazing.
You.
What made you? How'd that all come about? Usually you don't just usually wake up one morning and buy a gym, but...
Entrepreneurship is not for everybody. If you can take it, do it. I'd recommend it. I have owned a business before. So back in the UK, I owned a Segway and venture business, which is pretty cool. You know, those two-wheel things, they kind of balance themselves. Yeah. And we went into negotiations with landowners. We ended up talking with a company called Southwest Water. They run water sports around a reservoir. There's a 5K, 3-mile track around the outside with lots of wooded areas. So we spoke with them. They were like, yes, this would be a great activity. And so, we ended up running that for several years. We sold that. Doesn't want to listen to me. We sold that business so I could move out here after I got married. And so it's not my first business, but it's certainly the biggest business that I have, had an interest in. Means the risks are higher, the rewards are higher. So now I'm not making $100 mistakes. I'm making $10,000 mistakes. Yeah. So you right. Spend a little bit more time. I chose the gym because I've worked here 6 years. I know the industry. I know the specific location. I'm not a new face to the members, and so as far as transition goes, I feel like it's a little bit smoother. I'm not an outsider coming in to ruin their gym, you know? Well, maybe they still think I am, I don't know. It seemed like a pretty easy next step.
Yeah.
And just to remind our listeners, you were the manager, correct?
I was, yeah. So I came on as general manager in 2019, right before... less than a year before the 2020 shutdowns. Mm-hmm. And so that was a rough first year in fitness management, for sure.
But hey, you started at the bottom and basically it just kept going up, right?
Well, that's the plan, right?
Yeah.
So the big question that I have is changes. Are you planning on making any big changes, adding things?
He's like,
taking
I
things
changed the
out?
name.
Yeah, the name is awesome. Love that.
So you've always got to be careful what you say because like rumors abound.
Yep.
There are reasons people come to the gym, and I'm not looking to mess with any of those. You know, I don't want to uproot any rooms programs or anything like that. We have a nice variability in class types. We have a lot of seniors, and the pool is popular. So I'm not trying to mess too much with that. I am tinkering with budgets a little bit. Now this is kind of the stuff that members are not particularly interested in, but we have to think about this and kind of moving some money from this area towards a different area. One area that we've really focused on for the first couple of months is like repair and replacement. So, I mean, it's what we're in month 2. My first week of ownership, everything went wrong. Like you name it, you can think of anything that went wrong or that could go wrong with the gym. It went wrong. We needed to change insurance companies. The money for a whole week went into someone else's account.
Oh, gosh.
So imagine how expensive running 30,000 square feet is. I had nothing. We had a competition the first weekend. We had bolts snap out of walls. 2 rowers broke. And so I've had to allocate a lot of the budget towards fixing and
putting out some fires right away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which, if I can get through a couple of weeks like that, the rest is going to be a breeze.
It's kind of just like how you started, started in 2020 and got easier and
can only get better.
Yeah.
Starting off like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So besides putting out tons of fires and allocating some budget, it sounds like you're looking to maybe just get some new equipment or update some stuff and repairs, or was that part of the fire output?
That's what started it, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some of our premium programs as well, like the CrossFit that we run, the coaches need a little more involved training. So looking to kind of standardize the training, hopefully increase the level of that, my coaching staff. And well, same with everything. You want it to be the best it can be. And so as we put those procedures in place and those trainings and those systems, hopefully it'll just help us by supporting us, taking our energy away from something else so that we can build on what we have. So if we have a better trained staff, this week I'm doing onboarding videos for new staff members.
Yep.
So, I'm not waiting for people to come in so that they can practice transactions. Yeah, they've got online trainings that they can go through so that it's already they've already learned it before they kind of get the practical experience.
Nice.
And so the more of these systems I put in place, the more attention I can put on the day-to-day tasks, and that kind of stuff is member facing. So that's when the members will see the difference, because they're not going to know that I've spent hours making videos for staff members. They don't care about that.
Right.
But what they do care about is how well the staff members are trained. And so when it shows up, because the staff members know what they're doing, not that they don't now, but there's always there's some turnover.
Oh yeah, yep.
I'm not putting my staff down. My staff are amazing, especially on this podcast. No, they're really good. They're really, really good. But new staff members that come in, we want to make the best member experience that we can. So if we can shorten the time between a staff member coming to us and being proficient in work, that's going to create a better member experience.
Yep.
And the easier it is for us to train staff, the more I can turn my attentions towards things that are going to be in front of the members.
Yep.
And not just
stuff, roles that you need to be doing or really only you can do versus like someone else, right? Like, no, I think that's great. I think it sounds like you're running a business.
Yeah, that's awesome that you're focusing on that staff. And I mean, it's so important to people, and that's always kind of like behind the scenes, and you don't know that it's a problem until, your members are complaining or they don't know what they're doing, or I had to wait this long, or they couldn't figure out this. So that is really awesome that you're putting effort into a well-trained staff, because that makes a huge difference.
And maybe a loaded question, but do you have a vision or a goal that you wanted to achieve or you see with the gym? Or
Yes,
okay. Do you want to share
visions are always a little more fluid, aren't they?
Yes, a marker or
yeah,
like a direction.
So one of the first things I did was put out member feedback. So I did a nice, easy form. 3 questions. One of them is just check boxes, because you want to make things as easy as possible. But data is really important. So the more data you have, the better decisions you can make. So I wanted to get 200 responses, because 10 responses, 10 people to give you 10 different answers. 100 responses, you start seeing trends. 200, now you can pick out the priorities. And a lot of the things were to do with the building, which I don't own, we're still renting. It would be really, really nice to either buy, and I haven't spoken with, Jeff Hammer still owns that building. I haven't spoken to Jeff about this. So, Jeff, if you're listening,
it's coming.
I'll come at you with an offer.
Yeah.
Maybe, we'll see. Or, the other option is to build, you can see that big New Glen Metalcraft building over on the west side of town there. I know they've got nice building plots out there, nice level land, more parking spaces would be really, really nice. And so I think knowing that, the members knowing that we have a commitment to improving what we have is a really, really good thing. Because members some of them are really, really nice, and they'll say, yeah, there's nothing you can improve. I absolutely love it here. And they're just really nice members. Great. I'm glad you're having a great experience. This is my little baby now, and I can see every little thing that I want to change. And as long as they know I'm committed to making those changes, that they'll know they're in good hands. And I think my vision is really just to keep getting feedback and then aligning myself with what that feedback tells me. And at the moment, the feedback is, yes, we really like the programs, classes, things like that. There are just these little things that, perhaps we've been to a different place and this thing was better. Could you do this here?
But they pertain to like space in the building, and is that what you're getting?
Yeah, so a lot of people, because we ask for positive feedback as well, because who doesn't love a little bit of praise? One of by far and above the top thing there was friendly staff. And so we obviously have a decent level of customer service, and that's evident in the responses we got from our members. And so that's great.
That's good.
And so if we can just bring all the other metrics up to the level of our customer service, we'll be an even better facility.
So let me ask you this for people that are maybe thinking about joining, or maybe want to come in and just take a tour, or what do you all offer? I know that there's CrossFit in the gym, and then you have the pool, and you have classes, and a little bit for everybody.
Yeah, so we are a 24-hour facility. The only room that's not is the pool. Then that's for insurance reasons. It's not us being sticklers.
Yep.
And so everything that you would need in a traditional gym is there. You got your weights, your cardio, your machines. But what's kind of unique about this place is how many different disciplines we cater to. So if you go to a certain type of gym, you're not allowed to drop weights. Well, that's no good if you're in strongman or an Olympic lifter. You need to be able to drop weights because you need to try lifts that you might not hit.
Right.
And so we have the capability to offer that. We have equipment that doesn't fit in a lot of smaller gym rooms because we have that really nice 10,000 square foot gym space. And so we're just blessed with all these things that I can't take credit for because I didn't find the space, and I didn't find the strongman people. But moving into this, I can see just how awesome it is. What's been left to me is pretty inclusive, and no matter kind of what you want to do, we have the capability for it. So that's pretty special, I think, in a gym.
Yeah, and from the amount of gyms that I've been to, just having to move from college and to other jobs and living in different areas, your guys' gym definitely has offered everything and more than I've found at any other gym. Like from the pool, from the sauna to the cardio room to the giant, like you said, giant open floor with weights, the strongman like corner, like there's just so much to choose from. And like I remember walking in for the first time actually being like a member and going, holy smokes, like usually I can get like a lay of the land of in a gym of like, all right, like there's my equipment and that's the stuff I'll probably use. But like when I walked in, I had like these other thoughts too of like, oh, that's interesting. I'm like, oh, that's neat. I guess I haven't done that workout in a while. And like I don't know. It was just nice to have options, breathing room for one, and space to actually do your workout without having to be like right next to somebody. And
we try and take that kind of philosophy as well. And this is something I brought in back when I was general manager in 2019. And that is transparency in everything. And so, yes, you can come in and you can practically use the weights however you want. Yeah, you can drop them. We've got some new kit now, like safety bars, so you can like go for things that you couldn't before. But in our pricing model as well, which is, I think is pretty rare in America, we have like an all-in price, like tax included, no sign-up fee.
Yep.
No annual fees. We just roll it into one price. And so like...
And that includes the courses or the classes too, correct?
Yeah. And so it's really just transparent. There's nothing hidden there. There's nothing that's going to surprise you. We're just really upfront about what we do, upfront about the pricing. And
So, okay, so the pool, I'm thinking families here now. So the pool, can somebody come in and like rent the pool or... And daycare. I know that used to be offered.
Yep. So private rentals, we have to be really careful with, because obviously the more private rentals we have, the less time and space our members have. And so I have tried to find a nice balance there. I think one of the things our members really like is being able to come in whenever. So we're a 24-hour gym. The pool is open on the weekdays. Was 6 till 9 p.m. Now I'm extending that to 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. So that's 16 hours minus 2 or 3 classes.
Right.
So you're looking 12 plus hours a day of open swim. There's just a lot of flexibility for members there. I don't want to get rid of that too much.
Yeah.
I think the flexibility is one of our characteristics. And if we lose that, you know, there's a little bit of what makes us special gets lost. So
yeah, and it doesn't take too many times either as a member to go and let's just say like I went to go to swim and then something is like taking up that space. It doesn't take too many times where it's like I'm just frustrated and like I don't want to go swimming anymore because
a lot of
the
effort.
2-3 times I've tried and it's like
That's so true.
it does. It is like yeah, you just kind of not gonna do that then.
Members definitely are my highest priority. And if I can keep my members happy, they'll stay longer, and it works out well for me because then I can increase my equipment budgets. So,
Absolutely.
you know, members, I'm all for you. I'm on your side.
But so a family who has a family membership, I assume that you have a family membership type
do.
of package. So they can just come in and use the pool. I mean, anybody that's a member, when there's not a class going on within the 5 9 or whatever, can go in and just swim laps or hang out on the shallow end or.
Yeah, we actually have a class pool, so it's at its deepest it's 4.5 feet. It's 3.5 at the side, so you can walk the whole way across and your head won't be underwater.
Okay.
So it's a really nice pool to be able to take the kids to. It's not built that way for kids. It's built that way because it's an exercise class pool, and so you can't do an exercise class in a deep end of a pool, a head underwater.
Right.
But it works out really well for families because, I have 2 kids, 3 and 5, and they love going to the pool. But if one of them got into trouble, pick them up. I can stand up and just hold them, and they'll be just fine. So it's super safe. Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking trouble the other way, like doing cannonballs in.
Oh. Well, yeah, there's no deep end, so then you got to be really careful with the cannonball.
Cannonball and break your butt.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So what about some funny gym stories? That's kind of my role here on the podcast. I
Right.
love that stuff. Like, okay, here's some examples. Have you ever had a gym fail moment, or have you ever witnessed that, either as an instructor or just personally yourself dropping a weight, embarrassing wardrobe malfunction?
Oh man. Just sure, all of the above. Like, instruction is about learning, right? So we learn as instructors as we instruct. So I remember one time I'm teaching a press, and the bar starts under your chin. You got to get your chin out of the way. But right before teaching get the chin out of the way, I taught everybody, you need to maintain an upright posture, because if the bar sits on your shoulders, this is a little bit of free training for everybody listening, then all the power from your legs goes into the bar. If you lean forwards, now the bar is sitting on your wrists, they flex, you lose a bit of power. So I'm teaching upright posture, so I had everybody against the wall. Slide you back down the wall, slide it back up again, nice upright posture. Then I said, move your chin back. But they're standing against the wall, so I had 3 people either hit their head in the wall or hit themselves in the chin because the head wouldn't go back. And then that was the moment I knew I had to separate those 2 lessons. So that was a big fail moment for me. I should have done better than that. But that's how we learn.
You're right.
Yeah.
As for...
That'll be in the next training courses too for like the staff or the
Yes.
The coaches.
Lessons by experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, we've had all kinds of things. So not all of our sessions are done with the personal trainer staring at you the whole time. You pay $60 or whatever. I used to charge $90-something at a different gym I won't name for a personal training session, and then you just kind of sit there and count reps. And yeah, you're doing a great job. I don't want to change anything, so you are just paid to kind of sit there. So we don't do training quite like that anymore. So
I feel uncomfortable just in that point.
Yeah, but imagine being out of breath and huffing, and then there's someone that you barely know.
Yeah.
Is just kind of staring at you from this far away. It can get kind of awkward.
Yeah.
So,
keep going. Yes.
I would, yeah. You can give people things to do, and one of these things was a chest-supported row. So the bench is at an incline, but instead of sitting with your back on the bench, your front is on the bench, and you're doing rows.
Oh,
right?
yep.
So pulling dumbbells or a barbell. I had not explained this properly to a group of ladies who I had given this movement to. And so they were sitting, legs both side of the bench, face right up against the back of the bench, trying to do these rows, saying it's really uncomfortable, it looks really awkward. And one of our members was there just as I was explaining it to them afterwards, just laughing, because he knew, but there's, some unwritten rules, like if you're a relatively young man, you don't approach women to tell them they're doing things wrong. Like, you leave that to the trainers and the staff. But yeah, that was completely my bad. Usually you'd put your chin above the bench so that you can breathe, for starters, and it doesn't hurt your neck. And then put a knee on the bench or something, so you're not straddling it.
They just went face.
Yeah, straddled the bench, face on the back. Yeah, and so
Couldn't see anything.
But
You're doing good.
Yeah,
You're looking great.
we've had
10 more reps.
Everything. Like, I remember when I first started, somebody was on a treadmill, like full on undressing, like not to the point of
Just getting hot.
yeah,
Unlayering.
and so taking layers off while walking on the treadmill. But the problem was that the jacket got stuck for half a second too long or whatever it was. One step in the wrong place, the person fell off the treadmill, the jacket was still up here.
Oh, please tell me you have cameras.
Oh, we did. We're just not allowed to share them.
Yeah.
But yes, we.
But you can see
we
it.
We watched it several times. The person was completely fine. Probably after a year of therapy, but.
Oh my God.
Physically was fine. But no, we've.
That's dangerous. That's I've done it. I've tried to do it, and I'm like, that could end bad. And then was like,
that's as far as I've got.
Yeah, that's.
But
I didn't want to be that guy either.
Have you seen anybody on a treadmill that like gets the speed up going, and then all of a sudden they can't keep up with it, and they're running so fast that they can't figure out how to like
I feel like that might happen
make it lower.
What machine is it where it's like your pace, like it runs with you as fast as you can sprint, and it's curved?
So we have a True Grit runner.
Is that what it's called?
But,
True Grit?
they're basically curved treadmills. They don't have a motor, so you move them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like, could you get going too fast on that one?
The problem with those is stopping too fast. And so you can get those things running as fast as you, no problem. But if you stop, that thing will not stop as fast as you, and you will just go.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I have done that.
Oh.
Yeah. No, this equipment was new to me at one time as well. So yes, I have done that, but landed it very nicely with a bow. So I feel pretty good
With a bow.
Yeah.
This is how you do this. That's awesome.
Let's get into like gym culture and myths. So, like, what's one fitness myth that drives you crazy?
I can't join just yet because
blank.
Yeah. I can't join because I'm not fit enough, or I need to be able to do this first.
Yeah, I need to lose 5 pounds before I go in, or I want to lose a little more weight before I go in. It's like
I need to get better before I visit the doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to fix my plumbing before I call the plumber.
Yep. It's like
That is so
doesn't
true.
make sense.
it is.
Like when we used to have a cleaning company come in and clean our house, and it would drive the kids crazy because I would say, we need to clean the house because the cleaners are coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they're like,
And the whole point, the purpose of the cleaning company is to save you the time.
yeah.
Well, now it's no longer saving you the time.
Oh, no. Yeah.
It's lost its purpose.
Uh-huh.
And so, that's a philosophical way of describing it, isn't it? If you don't come to the gym until you've already lost the 5 pounds, you're taking away our purpose.
True.
But there you go. It's the truth. It's just a very serious way of describing it. And we're not a very serious gym. We're serious about results.
Serious about results, but we have fun getting there.
That's true.
Yeah. No, I think I've heard that from a lot of people, that they want to look a certain way. And it all comes down to just what other people think, right? Like they're self-conscious and they want to look a certain way before they go to the gym, because there is more eyeballs at the gym versus at home or somewhere else. Or
Speaking on that, though, have you seen, there's a reel, and it's the girl, she's wearing glasses and kind of a neck-high top, and she's saying, you might think the gym is very scary, but I went there today, and it's the same kind of culture as like the women's bathroom in a club, and they have these things called spotters, and where they'll go up to somebody and ask, I'm not sure I can get this, do you think you could help me? And they'll save them, and then they'll be like, good job, you did great, even if they didn't lift it. And they have these things called pump covers, where they're like, no, don't look at me. My muscles aren't quite as big as they could be just yet. And then they get a few sets in, pump covers come off. That's just a fancy word for a baggy clothing item.
Pump
and now they're
covers.
like, yes, you can look at me now.
Tarp.
yes,
The tarp comes
So
out.
That's funny.
It just reminded me of that reel where,
pump covers.
it's a complete perception thing, where you walk in and the headphones are on, and these people might be bigger than you, especially if you're just starting out. But the culture is very like, hey, can we collaborate here? Can we do this? Great job, fist bump. It's very pro the other person as well. And there's no, I don't want to say there's very little, especially in this gym, although I'm sure if you go on Instagram, you'll find some horror stories. There's very little, like, competitive or aggressive attitudes.
Right.
It's very collaborative,
Yeah.
which is nice.
I can speak to that too, like being a member, and like I never had any problems like that or even seen anything like that. But the pump cover thing though, that I did that a few times.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I work there. I'm always in shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
So.
I'm like, part of it maybe is pump cover, but I can't get a good
Pump
workout
cover.
in unless I'm almost like sweating. Like
Oh, I
my
see.
body temperature has to be higher.
My
Like
body has no problem sweating. like right now, you make me nervous, and so I'm already.
No, for me, I don't know what it is, but to like get a good workout in, like, I need like I usually start in like a sweatshirt and hat and like maybe even gloves. No, I was kidding. But then take them off slowly.
Just not on treadmills.
Take them off slowly. One layer at a time.
Yeah.
So comment below if you want to see some of that.
Zach can be an influencer for you.
Yeah. I think it's a good spot for a break right there. Well, I'll run my influencer commercial real quick.
I gotta get that vision out.
Okay. Be right back.
You've probably noticed food prices continue to rise. Food shortages, rising inflation, and packaging issues are all making your grocery dollars lose their buying power. Mike's Discount Foods help you buy more for less. With Mike's business model, they can buy products for less and help you save. They are a true discount surplus store. Shop at Mike's Discount Foods. They always sell you more for less.
Back to the podcast.
Ooh, that was a good voice.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. So we talked about myths that drive you crazy. Is there an exercise that you think is maybe overrated or like, yeah, we'll just say overrated. Do you think there's one that just people are doing all the time and it's just overrated and it's not really that beneficial for them and maybe they should be doing something else? And if they really wanted to get stronger or lose weight, this would be the way to do it.
There's a lot of overrated stuff in the fitness industry. Lots.
Yeah, trends.
There's not a particular exercise that I want to fixate on because, I mean, it just kind of depends, and that's a horrible way to answer. But if a trainer doesn't say it depends when you ask them a question like that, go find another trainer because it does depend. Yeah, 99% of the time. But in terms of what's overrated in fitness, it's anything that's not a basic. And so think about the boom in recovery techniques recently with like the massage guns, cryotherapies, hot and cold, all that kind of stuff in terms of exercise recovery, not in terms of like longevity or anything. I haven't looked at that. But what's more important than all of those is just getting a good night's sleep.
And rest.
Yeah.
That's the best recipe for recovery.
If you did all those things but got terrible, short, broken sleep, it wouldn't make an iota of difference. Get the basics right, and like all those other things can add to it, but they will not replace. And so there's tons of, like, I could throw a dart at a fitness magazine or a book, and I could say, yes, that's overrated, but it may work if you've got sleep, adequate nutrition, like doesn't have to be perfect, adequate, and then decent movement.
What would you say is adequate sleep? Like 6 hours, is that like cutting it short? Obviously, we've heard 8 hours, right, is like the ideal.
So for most people, and this tends to, it'll reduce as you age and things like that. But for the majority of people, you'd be looking at 7 to 8 hours a night. Obviously, you would expect to sleep more as you exercise more. And so if someone's not exercising and saying, I only get 5-6 hours of sleep, well, try exercising for an hour a day and see if that changes. I'd say most people don't have a problem with length of sleep. They have a problem with quality of sleep. And that's something that kind of we do to ourselves starting in the morning. So I think caffeine intake. So the half-life of caffeine in your system, if you're not, doing stuff that gets rid of it faster, it's like, I want to say it's 6 hours. So if you're taking, let's say you do 200 milligrams of caffeine at noon, 6 in the evening, you've still got 100 milligrams of caffeine in your system. That's not going to help you sleep.
Really?
And then alcohol late at night. I mean, who doesn't like, actually, I don't drink alcohol basically at all. But I know a lot of people who have an evening drink or two. And alcohol and caffeine are probably the two biggest things that ruin our quality of sleep.
Alcohol ruins sleep too? Yeah, well.
And I have 2 of those.
See, and some people would say that maybe helps them sleep. So that's a myth.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking like a glass of red wine
We're
or something.
we're also talking studies over populations and general data. So there are always going to be outliers, and unfortunately, the majority of people think they're outliers. So that it's not always going to match up.
Right.
But yes, usually, alcohol, caffeine are the two biggest things we do to ourselves to kind of ruin our sleep. And I'm not really sure how we got on this, but yeah.
So you're telling
it's
me
important.
There's this is kind of a funny conversation I had with somebody. They were we were talking about alarms and like waking up and sleep, and that was the conversation. And he goes, well, one of the ways that I've learned to like wake up, or like one of the ways that I can wake up easier now, is I'll just drink a bunch of coffee before I go to bed, and I'm able to wake up easier in the morning. I'm like, well,
I'll bet.
It doesn't sound like you're ever going to sleep. It's like,
right.
yeah. I thought that was so funny.
They're
I
not
was
getting
like,
into their REM.
yeah, he's like, well, it's easier for me to wake up if I just drink coffee before I go to bed.
So
like,
then the next question you got to ask is,
Yeah.
how do you feel once you're awake? Like 2 hours after you've woken up, are you like sluggish for the rest of the day? Or like, I have so many questions to ask this person.
yeah.
Like,
And just think about how if you're doing that five days a week too, like, oof.
Yeah.
I was like, good for you, man. That's pretty good. I don't know. That's tough.
So exercise, you're saying, will help sleep. So all of you listening out there that have trouble sleeping, join a gym. Join Momentum.
Absolutely. And if I can plug for a little bit here, because we just bought the gym, we would like to get more people involved, right? We're here in the city of Princeton to get the people of Princeton healthier. Like, that's our mission.
Yeah.
And so we are going to be holding an open house, grand opening in May. And yes, we've got some pretty cool free gifts for anyone who signs up that day.
Ooh, okay, so show up, take the tour, look
Absolutely.
at everything.
And even if you don't sign up, we're going to have free samples. Try the proteins that we have. We got bars, we got powders, That sounds bad, but
We got a lot of powder.
it's good powder.
Yeah. Keep you going.
Yep. So, yeah, we're going to have lots of free stuff there. Class samplers. And so, like, try 10 minutes of this class, 10 minutes of this one. So if you've ever thought to yourself, I just don't know what this is, don't know if I'd enjoy it, this would be the perfect time to come in and kind of check that out.
And you said May 6th? May?
The Saturday, my phone will tell me.
Okay. Yeah, we want to definitely get that date out there.
The 17th.
Oh, May 17th.
Yes.
Okay.
That is the weekend after Mother's Day.
Perfect.
Yeah. Buy your mother something nice and then take her to the gym the next week.
Or buy your membership. Be like, that's how much I care about you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, don't take that the wrong way either.
Yes.
Please.
No, we want to make your heart healthier. Exercise.
We just want to love you longer, and to do that, you have to have a healthy heart. And for you to have a healthy heart,
A healthy heart has more love to give.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you need good quality sleep, and this is how you get it.
So
Seemed to attend a general study. I don't know if it's true. General study is that if you have longer sleep, more sleep, better sleep, you're a happier person, and you can love more.
So who do I send my commission checks to for my next marketing campaign? Because I feel like we all came up with that.
Yeah.
You can send them to me.
Okay.
Mary Patnode. That'll work.
Random question. Talking about training, because you've trained people, and you're still a trainer, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Like, yeah. Some people would train celebrities for movies or shows or whatever. If you could train any celebrity, who would you train? And for what? What would they be training for, right? So, like, be different for male, female fighting movie versus, something else.
So the one that popped into my head straight away was Alan Richardson. He's doing the Reacher series on Amazon right now.
Yes, I have.
So, massive guy, but he swears by intensity training. So, like, shorter harder sessions or shorter, harder sets, which is what I love doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like maybe this is more like working out with a celebrity than training a celebrity.
Yeah.
But like a dude that's bigger than me, and I'm a competitor, so like I would love to just do a session and like see if I can break him, and maybe join in a little bit myself to see, if I could. I wouldn't be able to, but see how close I could get to an Alan Richardson session.
Do you think he's all natural, or what would you say?
I mean, he's a massive guy.
Like, he's really big.
He's just genuinely massive, like genetically.
Yeah. He looks like G.I. Joe, but bigger.
I need to look. Alan
Richardson.
I need to look him up.
Mm-hmm.
So difficult to say. I don't think he's on anything illegal.
Right.
Because, I mean, you see the size of some bodybuilders, who are on not savory stuff.
Yeah.
He's very cut, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably on more than just creatine.
Yeah.
But probably nothing sinister.
Cool.
What about female?
That is a great question. I'm obviously trained really well. There's no one in my head right now.
We'll come back.
Elizabeth, I love you, sweetheart.
We come back to that one, maybe. When you're working out, I have a playlist, and I'm assuming most people have a playlist when they go to work out. And there's like a handful of songs like I'll pick that are like my go-to to even start my workout, to even get me in the mindset. Is there one that does that for you? Is like your first song that you play, or a playlist that you like to go to when you go to the gym, or are you silent?
I'm always in that mindset.
Yeah.
I don't need a song. No. You ever seen Bluey? Kids TV show?
Heard of it.
Dance Mode. There's an episode called Dance Mode.
We'll have to find that and play that.
He's got a 1-year-old, so you'll get there.
Okay.
You'll get to Bluey soon.
Bluey's great. So it's a mother, father, 2 daughters, and it just so happens I have 2 daughters who are the same age as the girls in Bluey. Oh. So like this is my life, but like an Australian version of it.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
And that's what you listen to, is to kind of get your jam on?
Well, I mean, I don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice.
It's always on.
Yeah. But no, it's cool. I do actually have a gym at home, because I get interrupted a lot in the workouts in the gym, which is to be expected.
Right.
I mean, I'm there to help people. At home, I get interrupted just in a different way.
Yep.
And so the interruptions, if I have to help somebody, I might have to go to the desk, spend 10 minutes doing something, head back. At home, it's like pick up a kid, move the kid, back to work. And so like it allows me to do more of the metabolic conditioning stuff. And in the gym, because my primary purpose is to help people, I allow more of those interruptions, so I do more sets and reps kind of stuff. But yes, at home, it's definitely kid focused. They swing on the gymnastics rings and they use the bench as bridges, and it's all good fun.
That's awesome. Teaching them young that health is important.
I have a question about pre-workout. So one question, like first part of it is, do you take pre-workout before you work out?
No.
What are your thoughts on pre-workout, if people should even take it, if they haven't already, and or if they are using it to supplement the workout? Is it actually supplementing? Because the reason I'm asking is, like, I've taken pre-workout for a while. Sometimes if I lay off for a couple months, I can, it loses its potency, right? Like at that point, the caffeine intake is higher, and like you keep building off of it. Especially if you want to work out on a consistent and regular basis, like if you're taking pre-workout every single time, plus a cup of coffee and whatever you have for the rest of your day, it adds up, like a lot of caffeine intake. So wanted to hear your thoughts on pre-workout, pros, cons, and maybe a roundabout way to either use it or not use it.
Cons, it's expensive. Cons, don't really need it. Pros, depends. Depends on what your goal is. Like if your goal is to be competitive in something and you want the extra 2% that a pre-workout can give you, or whatever it is, I mean, it'll help you get further in your workout. You might get one more rep. You might get one more set.
Just an extra push.
Yeah, it's the same reason we take creatine. So creatine is hugely used supplement. And basically, it's one of the components of like how our bodies create energy. And so basically a molecule breaks apart, and then as the bonds break, we get to use that energy to move. And so if you've got more of that, you've got more easily accessible energy. Obviously, not as accessible energy is kind of fat stores, and that's how we get rid of fat in a very simplistic way. But that's in its basics how it works, is you have more of these molecules that you can create energy from. And I forgot where I was going with that.
Creatine and pre-workout. So pre-workout is, I mean, sure, it can help you and give you that extra boost, but the creatine also is another option, sounds like.
So if you want to lift a little bit more weight, do an extra rep, having more of that energy that's easily accessible, of course it's going to help. The difference, I think, between my mindset and that of like a competitive athlete is if I can get 80 to 90% of what I would get at an optimal workout for half the effort and half the cost, it's worth the trade to me. And so, like I said, with the basics, get the basics right. If you're doing a hard workout, hard is relative, right? And so hard for some people might be 1% incline on the treadmill or 50 pounds. For other people, it might be a sprint on the treadmill at 3% incline or 500 pounds. So hard is relative. But if you're not working out hard, the pre-workout's not going to do a thing.
Right.
And so the hard workout will get you 80, 90% of the way there. It's just if you want to optimize. And optimize is such a funny word as well, because like, what are you optimizing for? If you're optimizing for results, then give up more of your family time. You willing to do that?
Less
spend more money. How much do you like your money? And so, the majority of people I speak to, and certainly my own mindset, is of what am I optimizing for? Well, I want family time, and I want to be able to pay my mortgage, and I'm not going to risk that for, new workout clothes, pre-workouts, and
So creatine, is that something people take after, during, or just at any time during the day?
Anytime.
And correct me if I'm wrong, it's more of like you can take it as a daily supplement. Like, it doesn't need to be before or after only, like a workout. It can just be something that you would take every single day at
even if
morning.
you're not working out.
And then your base levels
day.
just increase.
The more you can be consistent with it, and the more of it's usable.
Creatine, more recent research into creatine has shown not just muscular benefits, but neural benefits. So like focus at work and
clarity.
They're getting more research with women now, because historically most scientific research was done with men. Well, the last 10, 15 years, lots more studies with women. And so, which is a real bonus, obviously, because biologies are different, chemistries are different. So being able to see the effect on a female population has been eye-opening. Sometimes these things don't go the same. But they're really not talking about creatine anymore as a fitness supplement, just as a health supplement, like a benefit to everybody. So,
what are some of the results from the women taking creatine? Do you know any of them?
I would not know off the top of my head.
Something you guys should Google.
Yeah,
Get
there we go.
a little research in there.
I'll do that. Have me back again.
Yeah,
We will, for sure.
With coffee and a bagel, or whatever the request was.
Cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream from Caribou. Yeah.
So where do you buy this creatine?
Anywhere.
Online?
Oh yeah.
At the gym?
So we can stock it at the gym. Yeah. So we have wholesalers. We get protein bars and things from. Yeah, we can get creatine. The brand we use is a very clean brand. The fewer ingredients, the better, kind of thing. So, but yeah, I mean, you can get really good brands on Amazon. Health supplement stores. It's very widely
used. Is it like a pill, or do you mix it with water?
Both.
Gummies, yeah.
Yeah, there's so many.
Okay.
Literally go down any aisle. or not any aisle. Walmart or a lot of stores have it. Like you can go into Coburn's, they have it.
Okay.
Like just go to their health section, the vitamin section, or
I use the powder because I take protein shakes. So
Throw that in there.
put it in there.
Yeah.
So for people like me, I guess I'm trying to maybe convince my own self that I should get a gym membership.
All right, let's get into this.
And for all the other women out there, not even necessarily women, but so for me, I want to walk into a gym and I can jump on a treadmill or my problem is I get bored.
Mm-hmm.
So TVs, I feel like maybe if I get into a good show or something, like would I bring my own iPad? What are the TVs? Can you hook up to them? Can you change the channels?
So you can hook up to the TVs there. And nowadays you can get any kind of app from a TV, kind of Netflix and whatever. A lot of people bring their own, and that's totally fine because not all of our machines are TV facing, but every machine, like on our rowers, for example, they're down by the functional fitness area.
Mm-hmm.
They have little phone holders that you can kind of clip your phone on and watch stuff while you're rowing.
Okay. See, for me, that would be super helpful.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I just get bored. Like I can be on a treadmill for 10 minutes and be like, okay, I'm so bored.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not the one that's going to go lift weights either. Like I'm going to go for the cardio which I probably should throw in some weights, but yeah.
If I can interject, I feel like if you're getting bored too, another option would be working out in a class or a group of people, and then it's like the camaraderie and it's fun, like just conversations. Like you're not going to be necessarily like on your phone if you're in a class.
Right.
So
yeah, I just feel like there's a lot of people out there like me that, are going to think, okay, if I go to a gym, I'm going to walk in and be like, now what? What do I do? Or how do the machines work? Or,
we're super
all
good
of
at
that.
Yeah. So most of our staff are actually trainers in some regard. So we all have different backgrounds. But part of our tour, sometimes if we're taking people around for the first time, is, okay, here's our machines. But if someone's like, yeah, I want to, I've used this before. Do you have one of these? We'll take them right up. We'll get them on the machine. We'll show them how to operate it. That's part of it. So, if for people listening who are like, yeah, I'm just not sure that I'd feel comfortable going in because I don't know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's kind of why we're here. Like, we'll literally tailor it to you. Like, if the pool is your thing, we'll show you the pool. I'm not going to jump in, but I'll take you right there.
Yep.
So without having to do like a private, like hiring you as a trainer, and we'll just pretend that I'm asking for somebody else, but I walk in and say, okay, I want cardio and I want to get rid of my flat butt. What do I do? You would tell me what?
It depends.
How do I fix that?
To
you don't have to tell me right now, but
fix
somebody can like walk in and
to
say,
fix the flat butt, I would do less cardio. Or not less cardio, but you'd have to add something else. That's not going to help a whole lot. But yes, I can show you several ways to do cardio, and then I'm just going to ask, which one do you enjoy the most?
okay,
Because the one you enjoy the most is the one you're going to do the most.
right.
And then I might give you a selection of, okay, flat butts, very common issue. I suffer from that too. So let's work on some glute exercises. Now, it's not going to be cardio. Or if it is, it's going to be very highly intense. But, okay, here are some options. Do you feel more comfortable in the free weight area? Are you more comfortable with a machine? Because, again, people will go back to what they are familiar with, what they are comfortable with. And pushing people outside of the comfort zones is sometimes a good thing, but it depends what the cost is. So if the cost of pushing them out of their comfort zone is they don't come back, I'd say that's a net loss. And so I'm totally okay with asking people, do you feel more comfortable here or here? And if it doesn't match my preferences, that's fine. Do you enjoy this or do you dislike this? Well, if there is literally only one way to get a result and you don't enjoy it, that's an issue.
Right.
But there never is. There are always multiple ways to get a result. And now we're talking about optimizing, again, going back to optimizing, one of those buzzwords from the fitness industry. We're not optimizing for result now, but for longevity. So we might be getting 80% of an optimized result, but you'll have it, and you'll have it for longer because we've optimized your routine for you to stay longer. And so instead of having a week of really good sessions and then quitting because you're not enjoying it,
Right.
well, now you are enjoying it, and you can stay around long enough to see the result.
Right. Well said.
Yeah. So I shouldn't just say women, but anybody out there, if you have problem areas, join the gym, walk in and be like, I got flabby arms and a flat butt, and help
And
me
you
out.
You don't necessarily need that problem either to go to the gym. If you
Want
yeah.
to just be healthier.
Yeah.
But if you're like me and you have problem areas that you want to
You also
work
don't need
on.
to tell me what your problems are. Like when you walk in, that should not be the first thing you say. Probably introduce yourself first.
I have problems.
I'll walk through the doors and be like, fix this and fix that, and
Hey,
you
your
got a
leg,
new-
your
you got a new member.
your flat butt workouts too. They might even turn into cardio. They might do enough heart rate.
Let me say,
Elevate.
as a membership, we have like, I kind of want to put it on a continuum here, like
Yeah.
a whole bunch of people, but it's not a continuum. It's like a circle or like some shape. I don't know. Like maybe it's a 3D shape, but like we have like a quadriplegic, for example, comes to the gym. Now his workout's not going to look the same as yours. Like that's totally fine. But then we've got, you know, big people, small people, people trying to get bigger, people trying to get smaller. Like I'm trying to do both at the same time. Like that's just because I like making my life difficult. And so there are people who are there for the first time. We have new people who are new to the gym practically every month.
Yeah.
We've got people who have been there for 10 plus years. It's just, you wouldn't know this unless you walked into the gym and like took a look at the people there. But if you were in the gym and you were just looking out at the people for, you know, an hour, you'd see all types. All types. We've got, you know, adaptive athletes who can't use limbs. We've got able-bodied athletes who have preferences, things they won't touch, things they will, and it's just to do with enjoyment. We've got people who give anything a go. We've got people who prefer to work out alone, people who are there, you know, no headphones in, chatting with people. There's just the whole spectrum of people.
Speaking of that, what's one thing you wish people knew before stepping into a gym for the first time?
You get to create the culture. There is no gym culture. There is your culture. And so if you step into the gym and, you know, you're polite to people, you have now created a polite culture. If you step into the gym and you isolate yourself, you've created more of an isolated culture. If you step into the gym, I could go on. You kind of get the idea.
Yeah.
Like you get the opportunity every time you go to the gym to create that gym culture. We have core values as a business, things that we want the gym to be about. Like one of them is service. Like our job is to be there to support the members. But it's the members who create the culture. And we're going to try and facilitate that and kind of lead it in a good direction. So if we see the culture sliding in the wrong direction, we might kind of step in there. But it's definitely the members who create the culture. And so if you're worried about the gym setting, you are the gym setting. Like you get to create that.
Love it. How do people connect with you or to your gym, or how do they get started?
Okay, that's a great question. So we're still kind of switching things over from the old Beyond Sport name to the Momentum name. On Google, we are Momentum Fitness Center all set up. And so you'll be able to find us on Google. Currently, the website is still princetonfit.com because we are Princeton's gym. You can sign up straight from the website there. We have really good deals for families. So the more people you add, the better the value. We love having families here. You can sign up there. You can come in and see us. We're right in the middle of town in the old school building on South 2nd Street. Pop in anytime we're open. We're open all the time. So like the chances are if you come in, as long as it's not midnight, like we'll be open. Someone will be there. Otherwise, if you are a social media person, we haven't got those switched over yet. And I will get on that. I'll make that my top priority.
This is the promise right here. This is live recorded.
Live recorded. Yeah.
Facebook and Insta?
This would be a really good question for the listeners here. What is your social media of choice? Because I want to say we're on Facebook, and a lot of people my age and older might use Facebook. But I'd be interested in the listenership here to see, okay, should we start a TikTok or an Instagram page? Would you be interested in that? And would we get followers? Not because we want to get famous, but because we want to serve people. And if people are going to see stuff that's going to help them, of course we're going to do that.
Yeah.
So.
All right, people.
What platforms are you on?
Comment.
I'll make one.
Comment in the comment section what you guys want to see. I would say Instagram for sure.
Yeah.
For the Zach group.
The me group.
Yeah.
I've been spending more time on Facebook.
Ooh, you're getting older.
No, but I think to your point, the platform obviously has its age groups and people, but it also has different purposes.
Yeah.
Right. So Instagram can lead there's a couple different categories.
Funny reels in bed at night to the person sat right next to you.
You nailed it. There's a really strong community in people that use Instagram to send funny stuff, right? The entertainment level is pretty high. And then there's a portion of it too where people like to go on there and they follow certain accounts, aka me, but I'll follow a certain account just to learn educational stuff. That's all they post. They'll do carousels of certain workouts, right? Or certain things like that. And it's great. But then the other side of the feed is this. They're sending the funny stuff or relatable stuff to their friends because they want to have that relationship. And Instagram's all about them. They've come out and said this, that their goal is to be that platform that people can communicate more and more on and relate to each other. So the relatable content and stuff like that's kind of funny lives on Instagram. Great way to connect with those that younger audience that wants to send funny gym memes and relate to certain things, or even find a workout that they want to stick out to or learn from. Facebook too is, I think, a great place for updates too. I go to Facebook too to find either quick updates on stuff, good one post, simple graphic. I want to get the information in my brain as fast as possible, and it's a nice, easy way to quick find it. Also, Facebook is also giving people more reach because they want people to go back to Facebook because they're losing a lot of attention to other platforms. Not a ton, but enough to where they're switching gears and giving you more reach. So anyone looking to grow their reach, potential client base should be focusing on Facebook as well, especially on the Reels section. And obviously TikTok, the weird stuff that's going on, you don't know. And then Snapchat is also becoming more of a communication tool.
I'd be interested to know the application for business in Snapchat. I've always seen that more of as a personal platform. Mind you, I haven't looked at it in I don't know how many years.
Lots of advertising and stuff that are posting in I don't know what Snapchat calls it. Stories is what I say, but
yeah, I mean they've kind of adapted the basics. So they've taken what works well in certain platforms maybe and used it to how it fits on their platform. Like Snapchat, from my understanding, is still a strong communication app. Just like as if you were to text somebody, some people prefer the Snapchat, and same with me. I will prefer to communicate to certain people in a certain way through Snapchat because it's easier just to take a photo and share something quick than it is through your phone to take a picture, upload it to your messages, and then send it. Or versus like, if I'm at certain events or doing something, it's nice to just grab a photo and send it to somebody, and like you're communicating that way. So I think there's still a very young audience and always will be, but there's that audience is stretching further and further.
Yeah.
Because people still want to communicate that way.
Yeah, and you two both have younger kids and I have older kids, and I'm a volleyball coach at Princeton, so I have to communicate with all my players. And what I found out is that they're using Snapchat. So I could send them a text message that they might not read until the next day. And then I can send them a snap. It's immediate.
Immediately.
So that's how I communicate with them, is especially if I want them to get the message that I'm sending.
Yeah.
It's Snapchat, because they will open that sucker right away.
This is just my opinion. This would be my opinion and advice, is like if I was a business that wanted to use Snapchat for a platform for my business, it would be for updates. Quick, simple, like very personal. Hey, we're doing this today. This is available. Check this out. This is new. Like very, very personal and raw content, but update informational stuff. Nothing fancy, not promoting like crazy deals or anything. Just behind the scenes BTS, very raw content would be, I think, the way to go with that.
Look out for momentum on Snapchat.
There you go.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you always you have to have Facebook. I feel like every business has to have Facebook. You can't really go away from that, in my opinion.
Yeah. But
So
all right. Well, I appreciate the time you spent with us, and we obviously would love to have you back. And always enjoy your presence and
Well, thank you.
your
It was
and the
awesome.
great conversations that you have. So, we wish you the best with your endeavors with the gym, and we hope that you crush it and make this town healthier.
yeah,
I thought you were going to say make this town proud. And I was like, yes.
yes,
Well,
both.
that was my second part.
Both. We can
Healthier and proud.
Let's be the healthiest city in Minnesota.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Let's do
And
it.
yes, and don't forget, May 17th is the grand opening. Make sure you go. And then we will post that in the comments. We will get the link to the website, and we'll post that all for you listeners, so you can get directly to Joseph and his team.
Do it.
Awesome.
All right. We'll see you then.
All right. Thanks, Joseph.
Thank you.